What up? Me again, back again. Wall Street hit my line. And let's talk about some basketball. Now that we're into the full swing of the NBA season, opening week has been going on since Tuesday. It is now Friday, October 25th, and I am just having a grand old time watching basketball again. There's nothing quite like it, and I hope that all of you listening out there are just as happy and excited as I am to be watching basketball for the next 8 months, because it's going to be awesome. But today, I want to talk about someone who I've talked about a few times on my channel already, Cam Thomas. Because Cam Thomas is no fucking joke. I've said it before. I'll say it again. He is a bucket. He is just an automatic bucket. It does not matter where you play him. It does not matter what situation you give him the ball in. He is a tough shot taker, but more importantly, he is a tough shot maker. Cam Thomas is legit as fuck. And I just think everyone needs to know this, because the Nets are clearly not going to be good this season. They're just not going to be good. They dropped their season opener to the Atlanta Hawks. They were in Atlanta, and they lost by 4 points. But what I really want to highlight here is Cam Thomas scored 36 points on 14 of 27 shooting, and 20 of those 36 points came in the fourth quarter. And he made it a pretty exciting game. I was watching. I tuned in towards the end. I wanted to, see Ben Simmons playing. I wanted to see Zachary Rissache playing his NBA debut. But Cam Thomas really stole the show for me. And he's just an incredible scorer. And I don't think people understand how serious of a player this is, right? He just turned 23 years old. He's currently on a team where there's pretty much no offensive firepower. If Ben Simmons can return to form, that's one guy who might put up 14 points a game, right? At his very maximum. And, Cam Johnson's a good shooter, good spot-up shooter, but he's not really a guy that's going to average 20 points a game for you. And Dennis Schroeder, also a good scorer, but he's kind of inconsistent, in my opinion. And Cam Thomas is just a walking bucket. He is so good, and he is so entertaining to watch. Cam Thomas has seriously, accelerated himself into probably my top 5 players to watch in the NBA because of how good he is on the offensive end. He's not a great defender. He doesn't get a whole bunch of assists, doesn't get a ton of rebounds. He's really just there to score points. So I think another interesting thing to note here is that the deadline to basically offer rookie extensions was Monday. I believe it was Monday at 6 p.m. So October 21st at 6 p.m. And Cam Thomas was not extended. So it could mean a plethora of things. It doesn't necessarily mean that, it's on the player or the team. It could be a mixture of both. You don't know. The Nets are obviously in a unique situation because they're trying to rebuild. They clearly are trying to be as bad as they possibly can this season, which I think is going to help Cam Thomas because he's going to have this year to really show what he can do. I honestly think Cam Thomas could average 30 points a game this year. Similar to how Bradley Beal was averaging 30 points a game with the Wizards for a few seasons when we were not good. We were just not a good Wizards team. It's, I think, going to be a similar situation for Cam Thomas. The Nets are probably not going to make the playoffs. They're probably not going to make the play-in. They're probably going to finish in the bottom 5 of the league. So having this type of environment as a scorer is just Cam Thomas is probably grinning ear to ear right now. And it's going to be really incredible to see what he's averaging points-wise by the All-Star break. Because frankly, if he's averaging 30 points a game at the All-Star break, but the Nets are 5 and 40, does he get a spot in the All-Star game? I mean, if he's averaging 30, let's say 32 points a game, and his team is 5-40, I would say you kind of have to give him an all-star spot, because who doesn't want to see that kind of a player in the all-star game? But, it would just be incredible too, because if you think about it, Cam Thomas is really going to be the focus every night for like the opposing team's scouting plan, right? Like, they're going to say, like, who's the guy we have to guard here? Cam Thomas. It's Cam Thomas 3 times over. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be no other offensive weapon really for people to kind of like look at. Ben Simmons is a player to guard, but you have to guard him differently, obviously. Like, he's not shooting threes, he's not shooting mid-range shots, he's taking shots literally underneath the basket and driving to the paint. Cam Thomas is taking shots from all over the court, and he's making them when he's contested by like 3 people. It's incredible. It's really incredible. I'm like about to buy a Cam Thomas jersey. That's how sold I am on how good of a player he's going to be. So, I'm excited to see the game tonight. They're playing the Magic in, probably 15 minutes. I think it tips off at 7 p.m. So I'm excited. I'm really excited to watch the Nets this year. I live in the New York area, so I watch Nets games whenever I can. I watch Knicks games a lot. The Knicks are obviously a little bit more of a headline for this upcoming season, but Cam Thomas, man, he's a bucket. And, just because he didn't sign an extension, he's going to be a restricted free agent, which, for those of you that don't know, there's restricted free agents and there's unrestricted free agents. So typically when players expire off of their rookie deal, they become restricted free agents, which basically means they can go out in free agency, sign what they call an offer sheet with another team, and the team that is basically the incumbent, so the Brooklyn Nets in this case, have the ability to match any offer that Cam Thomas signs, right? So Cam Thomas could go out there and sign an offer sheet with, let's say, the Boston Celtics for 4 years, $150 million. The Nets can then basically have like the right to go in and say, nope, we want to match it, and they basically pay Cam Thomas on those terms to stay a Brooklyn Net. And unrestricted free agents basically just don't have that, right? So that's why you see a lot of guys who are, a little bit older in the league, who are on their 2nd or 3rd deal, they become unrestricted free agents, once they, get into free agency. So that's why you see guys like Pascal Siakam getting traded last year, because he's in the last year of his deal. They don't know if he's going to resign. The Raptors weren't very good, so they're like, let's move him. Let's get him to the Pacers. And he eventually, wound up signing with the Pacers again. But that's why it's a lot more of a big deal to trade a unrestricted expiring free agent before the season ends, as opposed to a restricted free agent, because you kind of have the ability to keep them, right? So it's not like you're just going to lose them for nothing. You might have to go into, the second apron and what have you to, go over that amount to sign somebody, but you're not going to lose them for nothing, which is really what hurts the most in the NBA. So I think this is also a ploy. I mean, they could essentially trade away Cam Thomas this year. The Nets are clearly trying to be bad. They're trying to build for the future. So I wouldn't be surprised if Cam Thomas gets traded. I wouldn't be surprised if Ben Simmons gets traded. I wouldn't be surprised if Cam Johnson gets traded. Dennis Schroeder, you name it. Nick Claxton, he might get traded. He actually had a pretty wild game last night. Had a hard foul on Dyson Daniels and then got ejected for a flagrant too. So NBA season's starting off hot, guys. It's starting off crazy. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. But let me know in the comments below what you guys think about Cam Thomas. You think this is going to be a breakout season for him? He's been improving his points per game every year since he's been in the league. So I don't think this year is going to be any different. But I want to hear what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, you want to support the channel, leave comments, give me a like. If you didn't like the video, leave me a dislike. Tell me how you really feel. Tell me to go myself if that's how you feel. I don't care. I want to hear from you guys. This is a dialogue on basketball. So, with that said, catch you guys with the next one. Take it easy and watch some hoops. Peace.